Hello everyone and welcome to Cities XXL. Today I'd like to give you guys a quick overview of some improvements and new features of Cities XXL compared to Cities XL Platinum. Let's start with the biggest improvement. It's the game engine. Monte Cristo, the old developer studio, did in my opinion some very bad mistakes when they designed the game engine in 2009. For example, among many other bugs and glitches, the game had a very bad memory leak and no multicore support. These problems have never been really fixed since release. I think it was simply because these engine issues were so fundamental that it needs a lot of work to do this. But finally, Focus Home Interactive was apparently able to fix this. So what they basically did is they took Cities XL Platinum and totally overhauled the game engine, and in my opinion it was really worth to do this. Right now we are in Newco City, a complete 900k population city I built in Cities XL 2012. I imported this city into Cities XXL and did, with the help of Frap, several benchmarks in two different situations in both games, but in the same city, to be able to compare the average FPS. Let's start with the first situation. Cities XXL is on the right and Cities XL 2012 Platinum on the left side of the screen. Options in both games are set to full details 2 times, anti-aliasing, and a resolution of 1920 to 1080. My system specs can be found at the lower side of the screen. Basically, my PC is around 2.5 years old, so not really a high-end system. For this first test, I benchmarked 1 minute of the usual gameplay situation. You know, top view, zooming, building, bulldozing stuff, and so on. I repeated this several times and finally calculated the average FPS. And here are the results. For Cities XL 2012 Platinum, I had an average FPS of around 18 FPS. For Cities XXL, I have now an average FPS around 27 FPS. That means the FPS has been increased by more than 30% for me. This is pretty cool. Now the second situation, postcard mode. View across the whole city, the most stressful situation for your PC, especially when your city have a lot of details like NCC, a lot of parks and all that stuff. That's the reason why the FPS do not increase in this situation so well. Graphic options are the same like before. And the results, Cities XL 2012 Platinum, I had an average FPS of just 10 FPS. Cities XXL now have an average FPS of 12 FPS. Yeah, like I said, in general, the average FPS is still low, but it's playable, and actually even in postcard mode, like 20% higher than in Cities XL 2012. So finally I can say the game feels, and indeed is, much faster and smoother than before, and so far I haven't noticed a memory leak anymore. And of course there's much more. I noticed various bug fixes. For example, cars do not stop anymore in front of freeway interchanges, and interchanges are finally animated now. But beside all these technical improvements, there are also some nice little new features and improvements of some tools. I will give you an overview now. The first change you will probably notice is the look of the game. The shaders has been changed and cool new skyboxes has been added. You can select these skyboxes from the camera menu. There's also a new day and night cycle that can be activated from here as well. A new type of buildings has been added to the game, environment buildings. Most of them can be found in the environment menu that contained just the old avatar park in the older versions of this game. In general, these buildings will help to decrease pollution and to improve the environment of your city. But some of them have some additional functions. For example, the pollution sensor can provide some detailed information about the environment status of your city. Or the ecological waste treatment building can increase the efficiency of the waste treatment in your city. Beside these new environmental buildings, you can also add environment upgrades to heavy and manufacturing industry buildings to reduce air pollution. For more variety of the public transport system, we now have a park and ride parking garage with bus stop. This will help to decrease traffic and air pollution. It can be simply unlocked by building the park and ride central building. And there's a lot more, like the new cruise ship dock for holiday tokens, the international freight airport for freight capacity, or the sailing and speedboat harbor for leisure activities, as well as the new leisure airport. And finally, a cool new police station with helicopter landing platforms. The first tool you will probably notice is the new filter tool. This tool will pop up when you are in a menu where you can select ploppable buildings like service or leisure and so on, or when you activated individual building mode. This tool allows you to filter all building menus for various options. For example, let's say you want only modern buildings. Or just the new Cities XXL buildings, or both. Another new cool thing is the free camera mode. To enter it, just type C for postcard mode, zoom down to the ground, now hold down the middle mouse button, take a look around and use the arrow keys to fly around. This allows you to take nice screenshots of your city from angles like never before. By the way, with page up and down you can move upwards, and with pose 1 you can turn off and on the interface. Focus Home Interactive also added some additional options to some of the existing tools. For example, the zoning tool. If you take the square zone tool, you can define the size of the road grid and the road size. And for the free zone tool, you can even define the type of roads you like to use inside of the zone or around your new zone. But the tool with the biggest improvement is the Terraforming tool. You can now set next to the size, the shape, the level of smoothness, and with holding down Shift you can lower or rise the terrain. But the best thing is, let's say you have a perfectly terraformed flat area like this plateau, and you build something on it and then you decide, I like to expand this area. You can now simply take the terraforming tool to do it. The tool can now overlap with placed roads and buildings, and it will not remove them, but only when the area is perfectly flat, so that the tool will not change the terrain level at the stuff you had already built. So use it with caution. In my opinion, the terraforming tool is finally pretty useful. Also, 5 new maps has been added to the game. There is Smoke on the Water, Desert and the Sea, Rocky Beach, Cherokee Peak, and finally the Painted Canyon. Steam Workshop support has been added to the game that allows mod creators to upload and share their mods with the community and players to find interesting stuff and keep mods up to date easily. There's already a nice amount of mods available right from release. The modding community is already working on to make as much Cities XXL 2012 mods available to Cities XXL as possible. All mods in the workshop should be already compatible. The most important one is the community mod by Altiris. This is the user interface mod version for Cities XXL. This mod is prerequisite for almost every other mod, so make sure to download this one first and keep it always up to date. So, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little review and it was helpful for you. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more Cities XL and in the future Cities XXL content. Thank you very much for watching and goodbye.